Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You could also get my books on Amazon at Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator. Okay, my family. Welcome, family. All of my brothers and sisters out there. Let's give all of y'all a well-deserved round of applause as we welcome on our brother in a few seconds. Oh, yeah. As we welcome our brother on in a few seconds. Welcome. Yeah, man. Welcome. And this brother, I'm longing to have on. We're gonna bring him up in the next 2 minutes. It's now 2 minutes before the top of the hour. This is your brother King Simon on today's consciousness in the conscious community. Y'all know I do a weekly thing or bi-weekly thing, and today we have a special guest coming in the next few seconds, in the next minute. But don't forget tomorrow. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we will have the one, the only New Diamonds, as we will be speaking about healing work for all ages. That's going to be happening on August the 13th, Queen of Four's birthday. So I'm happy to have that going on. And don't forget, make sure you support my dear sister New Diamonds and what she does. She's an artist. She's an oracle. She does all the handmade jewelry wrapping classes. She consults, astrology, birth chart, all of that. And all of her links is right there. NewDiamonds.net, New Diamonds, and $ New Diamonds 101. And then on Sunday, we have the one, the only Paula Herlock from out of Jamaica. Conscious connection between America and Jamaica and the global community happening on August 16th at 11 a.m. Central Time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're going to have a good time as we bring Jamaica and America together, which is all of the Americas, if you know the history, if you know the geographical history. But a lot of people don't know the geographical history. So it is what it is. And just want to remind our people that Nick at one of my sponsors, another one of my sponsors, the one, the only Nicole Vanessa Spencer. Make sure you support our sister. Her number is 1-240 416-7711, and she does a lot of great things. She makes jewelry also, but she's also an author. She's on Instagram. She's from South Carolina and Trinidad, so big up to her all the time. And one of my newest sponsor, Chef Peace. Yes, meet Chef Peace. Explore our journey towards sustainable off-grid living, cooking, and nourishment. She does classes, she does workshops, she cooks, she caters, she does all of that. So enough respect to Chef Peace and what she's doing and how she's doing it on another level. Yes. And big up to my brother Quasi and everybody that's going to be heading over to the Invest Fest that's coming up in another few more days, another week and a half. So we're going to be there too. And big up to my dear sister Tassili and her beautiful and wonderful husband, the one, the only Adam, and the whole crew. An all-day free event at Tassili's Raw over there in Atlanta. West End is the best, and you know what it is. I'll be one of the speakers, so it's going to be off the hizzle for shizzle. You know, I'm going to get it in with the numbers and how it all correlates. But without further ado, oh my goodness, Brother Jabari is the founding force behind Solvivaz Nation, a cultural and economic collective celebrating 30 years of service, creativity, and community building. Everything he does, from workforce training to media production, flows from the mission and legacy of Solvivaz. As the visionary behind Reality Speaks, the internationally recognized communication brand of Solvivaz, Brother Jabari has preserved and shared one of the most extensive Black lecture series in the world, featuring some of the world's respected voices in African-centered thought, history, and empowerment. He is also the founder of Conscious Heads Barbering Bootcamp and Healing Cuts Ministry, blending the art of barbering with workforce development, mentoring, and holistic healing. Through initiatives like the 2000 Free Cuts campaign, Brother Jabari has provided free grooming, literacy programs, and vocational training, uplifting individuals and communities across Baltimore and beyond. A poet, storyteller, and creative producer, Brother Jabari infuses African-centered values, cultural pride, and legacy building into every project, from grassroots service work to global media platforms. His life work reflects the Solvivaz vision, building strong people, strong family, and strong nations. And without further ado, we want to bring on my platform for the first time, family, and we're going to get a treat because he's a legend in Baltimore. We're going to bring him on. The one, the only, Brother Jabari in the building. Let's welcome Brother Jabari in the building. What's up, sir?
What's up, Brother King? How you feeling?
Yo. You know, you got a whole lot of accolades, brother. Gotta make sure
Nah, I appreciate that. But I appreciate you for all the work that you've been doing in the community. Woo. And when I started, you know, when we were bringing people like Brother Ashra Quasi, you know, there was always these connections. So it'd be like, hey, look, well, I'm gonna be in the East Coast. Do you know Brother King Simon? You know, and it's like, man, you know, hook up with Brother King Simon, and that way I'll stop in New York first, then he'll come down. You know, come down to Baltimore. You know, so it was always like different lecturers and some connection and all. So that's what I know you from way back in the day. So I got respect for brothers like yourself and Brother Sarnetta, you know, and a lot of the brothers that was there in the early days when we used to kind of connect up and bring people in through the same, you know, when they coming to East Coast, coming through that corridor, you know, we would all kind of link up and share ticket prices and, you know, and airline tickets and all that kind of stuff.
And you know, family, the first time I met you was at Dr. Ben's funeral.
Ah, word.
Remember?
Okay.
That was the first time we met.
Wow.
We never met anyway. We talked on the phone, but we never met.
Right. Okay.
We was at Dr. Ben's funeral, man. And of course, we miss the great Dr. Ben, of course.
Yeah.
We miss all of our elders that have transitioned and moved on. Of course, you had a great connection with Dr. Dick Gregory all the time, and all of the great ones, Laila Africa, Jeffries, a lot of people, not only from New York, from Baltimore, but from all over.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of what you've been doing, brother. And I said I had to get this brother on, man, because this brother has proven himself battle tested, especially in B-more. Big up to Baltimore, us.
In the city,
oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love B-more, man.
Yeah.
I have fun when I'm in B-more, man. So big up to B-more all the time. They've always treated me good, and when I've gone through there, man, just visiting friends or family and all of that, man. And I'm proud of the journey that you offer, not only through your barbershop, because we know barbershops and hair salons are like the first form of giving information to some of these young people.
That's right.
As you know, I mean, I used to go in the barbershop. They'll talk from knowledge all the way to strippers back in the day.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, that's how I go. That's how I go. Keep it real in there.
I have friends, man. They own barbershops in New York. They used to cut hair for Spike Lee, and they'd be talking all kinds of stuff from whatever. I'm like, yo, man, y'all say this in front of Spike? Because I used to work for Spike when I was doing security.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So it's interesting that that we kind of finally linked up, and I'm glad, brother. Again, very proud of your journey, man. Along the way, I'm just sharing making sure people get the links, man, and I'm just proud of what you've been doing, man. And big up to people that supports you, like Oyama Art, Dr. Oyama Art. Put some respect on that sister's name.
Definitely.
And you had one of my teachers there, Lloyd Strayhorn, over there, and he did a wonderful job. I got to get over there one day and show him how I do it from my perspective. But
no doubt.
You got to bring both of us. Let's have some fun.
No doubt. We got to do that. Definitely.
Yeah, and but
handling your business.
Yeah, because I love I do a thing called numerovation. So I motivate you with the number where Lloyd do astronumerology, where he tells you and break it down. I got to motivate you on how to use it better. So that's how I work with it. So
one question real quick. How do I share this link onto my
are you supposed to be able to share a link? I already opened it up. There's a button that you could put.
It was something. Don't worry about it. I'll share it later. I didn't know if I saw something, but
it came up. Yeah, it did come up. I know it came up because I made it that you could share.
Yeah, I saw it was something on there, and it was like click here, and I was like, I ain't want to go to clicking too much stuff. So no, we fine.
I know. Okay, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry, brother. You know, family, make sure this is his number right here. Y'all see 410, his business number 303 4120. If you want to get part of what he's doing out there and what he's doing in Baltimore, if you want to even do lectures and help him out or bring some new speakers, because we got, you know, and we're going to talk about it, brother, because new speakers they've kind of they've been dropping to the wayside, a few of these new speakers. So
yeah,
I want to make sure everybody know you at IG at Jabari. How you say Natur or Natur?
Natur.
Okay, Natur, like Natur. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, he has a YouTube channel called Reality Speaks Media dash soul, and of course his Cash App is $ Jabari Natur, and of course Daddy Watutu at Gmail is his email if y'all want to contact our brother and do some workshops and all that. I'd like to bring some nice vegan food workshops and all that kind of stuff over there, man. We could do that. I got a whole bunch of people. So, brother, we're here. You are now the 20th episode on my today's consciousness in the conscious community. And as I say on the flyer here, today's consciousness in the conscious community, what happened? How can we change it and heal it? So this is an audience participation. The link is pinned to the top of the chat if you want to cam up or you want to call in. But let me talk with my brother first, because this is my first time really having my brother on this show. And I want now my brother, you know, let me put you back on the screen. I just got used to this restream that I'm using. Brother, man, we've been doing it for over 30 years, to tell you the truth, 30 plus years. Got to be honest. I've been doing promotion when I was in the Ansar community under Dr. York before he changed it to Nuwapians in the 80s. So I've been a part of that. I've been part of the Nation, the 5%. I was doing promotion even during those times. So we've seen, we usually gravitate to someone that speaks well, but also that stayed with code of conduct, so to speak. You know, we loved our elders that kept on the code, but as time has gone by, a lot has happened. But before I go there, what was your entry into the consciousness in Baltimore? Why did you start what you started 30-something years ago, man? Let's start with my brother's here first, my brother.
Man, you know, all praises due to, you know, to my mom, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mama Mayat. And she's been gone for like almost 3 years now. Well, you know, she with me. I'm here. You know what I mean? We together. But mom always, when I was coming up, she always would put things in my head like, hey, look, you got to look deeper into this. You got to look deeper into this. And then down the line, it just all made sense down the line. You know, one day I watched the movie Malcolm X. You know, I was trying to figure out what I was doing with my life at that time. I was getting ready to be a police, go into the police force during that time. Yeah, I was actually going through the process of police. They canceled the program in the midst of it, the cadet program, and you know, we was kind of in limbo during that time. That's when the spiritual forces started to work. I guess the ancestors and all was like, nah, we don't want you in the police force, bro. You know what I mean? You got a deeper mission than that. Yes. And you know, and so I watched this movie Malcolm X by Spike Lee, and actually it changed my life, changed my whole life, everything that I was doing. I was like, man, I want to be like him. You know, I want to help out people, you know, and along with the teaching I was getting from my mom, and then, you know, with brother Malcolm, you know, it was on. I started during that time. I got invited. I started with a study group, African World Study Group at the time, and then I started going to the historical all throughout the East Coast, West Coast, whatever, everyone's place here in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? I heard of it. You know, and I started working there. And from there, that's when I really started my journey. Like I got my name there at everyone's place from a sister named Elijah, my good friend. Here
Elijah. Today. Big up to Nati and bring up Elijah, man. Big up Elijah.
Yes. She, you know, one day she like, man, you can't just be going out here as Corey. You know, you starting to read, you starting to study. We got to get you a name. And it was like I walked in one day. She had a name book and she was flipping through the name book. You know what I mean? Like this, you like that, you like that. How about Jabari? You like that? You know, and so she was like, you know, all right, from here on out, we're gonna call you Brother Jabari. I mean, just like that. And next thing I know, I was Brother Jabari. So it was funny because my mom called up to everyone's place that day, and she was like, oh yeah, I need to speak to Corey, please. You know, and she was like, you talking about Brother Jabari? She's like, no, Corey. You know what I'm saying? So I picked the phone. My mom was like, who was that talking about your name is Jabari? You know, and but nah, it was so funny because my mom, you know, she at first she had a little problem with it at first. And then she called me Jabari more than anybody else, you know, Jabari, you know, and would use it interchangeably and all. But you know, so that was like coming in through everyone's place, and from everyone's place, I started looking at all of the VHSs at the time, you know what I mean, and the audio tape.
Yes, sir.
And Brother Nati had them all laid out. They were all, every lecturer. So I said, man, I'm gonna watch every last one of these on this show. So I mean, it was hundreds. It was well, maybe hundreds of them. Right, hundreds of different lectures that was there. So I would watch all of them, and I started to learn about different people and all. So I come to see that some of these people, you know, they would start to come through everyone's place. They were coming through everyone's place. Yes. One of the first people I met was Dr. Africa, you know, and he came up one day, and I was like, wait a minute, God, brother, look familiar. You know, he's like, Brother Nati here, and I'm like, you brother Dr. Africa, right? Yeah, how you doing? You know, and so as they started to come through there, I started to get their phone numbers and all. I'm like, when I started seeing people doing from New York and different places, I'm like, man, we need to do that in Baltimore. Yep. So, you know, I started hooking in. It was from Dr. Africa to Brother Ashraf Kwesi, some of the first people. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. You know, some of the first people that we actually were doing, Dr. Barshango during that time. And all these people were coming through, Dr. Patricia Newton, and you know, who lived in Baltimore. You know, she came through, and they all were coming through everyone's place because he would do different things and bring people through, you know. And I started to meet all of these people, and it was like, man, I was in heaven, you know, because it was like, I mean, all these scholars were coming through, and I'm just meeting these people. So we started, I said, man, we put together, you know, with the Solvivaz Nation, and from Solvivaz Nation, Reality Speaks is our information wing of Solvivaz Nation. So we started to bring in people, you know what I mean, through Reality Speaks. One of the first one we did was Brother Tyrone Powers, who lives here in Baltimore. Yes. He was
I have his book here.
Yes, you got his book there. Yeah. So he was like the first lecture that we ever did. And then from there, man, it was on. It was like, man, we got to inform our people. We got to wake our people up. We got to get them this information for inspiration, for the purpose of elevation. So, I mean, we were on fire, man. We was just bringing people here, bringing people there. Eventually, you know, we bought Sister Soldier early on in the days, and Soldier would come out. Because, you know, back in those days, I was 19, 20. And so I'm like a pip. I'm a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? You probably start doing the numbers. 512.
If you tell me your birthday, I'll start doing
right. 512. You know, and and once I lock on you, I'm like a pit bull. You know what I mean? I'm writing letters back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, look, I'm Jabari, man. We just need some, you know, we want y'all to come here to town. The people need to hear you. And if I got your number, I would call you on the phone. And once I got to you, you couldn't resist. You just couldn't resist, because I'm just like, man, you know, come on. You know, I can remember the first time that Dr. Khaled when I first talked to Khaled on the phone, and I was reaching out to him, trying to talk to him. And one of the brothers, Brother Sunyata, one of my partners,
Right.
he said he would always call and play at that time. Call and act like, speaking like some of the scholars and all, like, hey, peace,
Right.
brother. He would call and play sometimes. So one of the days I picked up the phone, like, peace, brother. I said, come on, man. Come on, bro. Stop playing, man. I'm doing such and such. This is Dr. Khaled Muhammad. I said, come on, seriously, stop playing, man. Like, no, brother, it's really me. It's Dr. Khaled. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Dr. Khaled Muhammad. Man.
I got a shirt on with it
Oh, you got
says,
the
Saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I used to work with Dr. Khaled, man. So that's
right. I'm sure you work with everybody, bro.
I was in the nation during his time. That's his tenure. So
got you.
Oh man, how did Khaled respond to that? And you call?
He laughed. He just like he laughed, and I said, man, it's one of my brothers. He play all the time, and he said, yeah, I got you. So what we gonna do? And so that's when we started bringing him to town. During that time, So it's so many people. I would call one scholar, get another scholar's number during that time, because we didn't have an internet back then. We couldn't get on the internet and find people. It was just me tracking people down from phone numbers. This person knows that person and all. And man, really and honestly, most people, they would come, man. And and the honorariums weren't that big during the time. They were willing to work with you. It's like, hey, look, what you got? How much you got? What you do? And a lot of times, even after we would do the events, a lot of times the lecturer would come to me like, hey, look, how'd you do, man? Did you do okay?
Yeah.
Some of them wind up like, some of them wind up be like, hey, look, just give me this right here. You keep that right here. I know what you're trying to do. It was so much understanding during those times, because I ain't never been made rich off of these lectures. Let's just put it like that. Exactly. Never been rich off the lectures. We were able to
pay off the bill.
Reality Speaks Productions and produce the DVDs and stuff like that. Because we was the plug for everybody. Everybody was getting their lectures from us, because we was doing, from New York to to East Coast to the West Coast. We was the plug where everybody would come and order their DVDs and stuff from, because we did so many lectures and stuff like that. But I ain't never been no millionaire from this stuff like this, man.
Exactly.
And some people think that you doing them, that you making all this money.
Brother Jabari, they don't know the backstory behind these places, man. The venue renting, the chair renting, the sound renting. They don't even know. And sometimes honorariums, and again, like you just said, some of the elders, especially back in those days, is like, yo, we'll work with you. We'll get 5 off the door, or 10, or whatever, so we can keep on coming back. Especially Ashwa Kwesi and America. You always work with the Dr. Africa. Will always work. Professor Smalls, all of them always work for. But people don't know. I wrote a book called "No Promotion is Bad Promotion." Just spell my name right.
That's okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wrote that book talking about the venue owner syndrome and all that. When venues see that you pack a place out, they want to charge you more. And I've been through it, from the reggae world, the hip hop world. I've even working at SOBs in New York. I went through it all in Madison Square Garden. I went through all of that stuff. So I know.
But it was all about relationship building all through the years with everybody, because every place, like, we had Sojourner Douglas College here in Baltimore, where we did a lot of places. We would have these headquarters. It would almost be to the point where I had keys to these places, man. Like, I had so much. I knew I had to develop a great relationship with the place that we were actually doing the events at, and along with the lecturers. So a lot of times, man, to be honest with you, and y'all don't try this in y'all city, but I would bring lecturers, and I wouldn't have to send them no upfront money. I wouldn't have to do nothing. They trusted me so much. They knew that I was going to be fair at the end of the day. Everybody knew it was going to be fair. I'm going to pay everybody. I ain't I ain't trying to be rich. I ain't going to dog you out, but we had trust. I would do lectures with Brother Dick Gregory, and wouldn't pay a dime, wouldn't pay a dime until he paid everything the night of the event. And that's with the space, that's with everything, because I was in so good with the people, and I had such a good relationship and rapport that I didn't have to stress all of the early, man, I got to get this money for this. I got to get this right here. And I didn't stress trying to make the event successful so I could have it there, but I didn't have to stress all of the early funds and all, because I had those connections and just had great working relationships with people.
Now, and that's what makes a good promoter, because similar to you, I had great relationships with a lot of the elders and a lot of the people, man. So again, those journeys are very, and you being a Taurus, my mother's a Taurus, by the way, but so I grew up with all of that energy.
You already know
the hospitality, and also the hospitable energy that y'all have. That's what my mother always loved to cook and provide food. She's still with us at 86 years of age, so I'm always happy that I can go and see her.
Blessings.
And my father's he's in Florida. He's still with me,
up.
so I got both of them ready. Matter of fact, I want to ask you, what was your father at in this situation while you was growing up, going through all
my dad was right here, man. Yeah, he was right here. My mom and dad broke up when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And so my dad was always there. I had uncles. I had a very, close knit family. So my family. I was the one who couldn't go outside when the lights came on and all those things. Even after we left, with dad. But yeah, man, big props to my, and fortunately, the house that I stay at today, I've been here for 5 years now. But this is the house that I laugh. My mom used to say what I used to say, that this is the house that I was conceived in. My mom and dad brought this house together in 1974. And I was born 1975,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was born 1975. So, once my dad passed away, it'd be 8 years this year. And like I said, I came here and I took this house back over. But I've been a person of generational wealth for my family. I have 2 houses from my family, being passed down. And I'm really into my family and the ancestors and those different things. I pay respect and I pay honor to all of those. And like I said, I learned from my dad. My dad was he was a cook. He was an entrepreneur. My dad, even though he had jobs, but he was a hustler back in the day. He would mechanic wise, people would pull up in the yard. He had cars lined up out back, fixing people cars out back. My mom was, an early entrepreneur. She used to do dinners, she used to do things. So both of them had like this spirit. As my father went on, he less, a little bit less had the spirit, but early on, he was a hustler. So I can see myself. And as I look in this screen right now, bro, I am dad. Like I look sometimes at myself like, goodness gracious, I'm having like the way I hold my hands. Sometimes I'm walking past, I'm like, goodness gracious, man, I really can't, So they hear my ancestors walk with me, but yes, dad was right there.
And that's why I asked the question.
Yes,
that's why I asked the question, because I know you talk about mom, and mom definitely, but when dad is usually the law back in the day. So how we go. And and it's funny, brother, because in this consciousness, man, a lot of people, relationships are, have become more rougher than it was back in the day. But because even when I've been married 3 times, I'm always honest. I always tell people I went through that, and all of them was Islamic. I always went through the Islamic marriage. Anybody I got married was Islam. But next time, if I choose to do it or not, if I choose, I want to do it again, but I want to do it more spiritual and all that. But how is the marriage? How has relationship been in Baltimore since, because a lot of things have changed. Everybody want to get into poly and all that in this consciousness, and they want to do polygamy, but they doing panigamy. You know what I'm saying? They want to do panigamy. When there's code and conduct and protocols with polygamy or polygyny. How is it in the conscious community over in Baltimore? Have you noticed as far as relationship? Are relationships strong as they used to be back in the day when we was growing up and all that, or has it gotten a little weaker over time in Baltimore?
Definitely weaker over time. Weaker over time. I mean, we go through the same stuff that everybody else go through from from city to city. I was actually married once and had my 3 children. Most people know who may have followed me in the past that we had Watoto from the Nile. We talk about, that's my young female group with my daughters that was in it. So, I was married to their mom, my 3 daughters, and I have 2 more children actually now. I have a 6-year-old and I actually have a 4-year-old. But man, it's been tough.
Big up to my sister, Dr. Oya Ma'at in the building. What's up, Oya Ma'at, doctor? What's up? She in the building.
Ma'at. That's Dr. Ma'at. That's the Queen's sister. Definitely respect.
She's a fellow Aquarian like myself. So we do what we do. So proud of her journey with
her and her family. Big support. I mean, her pop used to we used to cut up Pop's hair, man. He's in the area. Real good brother, and they've always been very supportive of everything.
Right. There she goes. I'm glad. Thank you very much for saying that. Give thanks to Brother Jabari for all the good that he has done. Yes, man. That's why I had to bring him on, sister. This is a brother that I've known for many years, and we didn't finally meet until Dr. Ben's funeral, man, homegoing. So and that we were sitting upstairs together. Remember, we was upstairs.
Yeah. We bought a bus. We bought a bus in from Baltimore. Yeah, we bought a whole bus in.
I came in. So again, today's consciousness in the conscious community, I want people to really, really show love to our brother Jabari. His all of his links is right here on the front. And also, I'm going to put it in the chat. So if you want to support him through Cash App and hit him up on an email, or support him by following him on IG, or follow him his YouTube channel, or give him a call, find out how you could do anything in Baltimore yourself. But you got to be conscious. I don't want you to just be conscious. You got to be conscientious of your consciousness, because conscientious means doing what is right.
Right.
Then the conscious come in, because I'm going to go down that road, brother, because we've seen some experiences come through our hands, come through our community, not only in Baltimore, but New York, all the East Coast and the West Coast. It has changed, bro.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
My heart pains, because I know if I had to do this all over again, brother, I would have become a private investigator first. To investigate and vet people out, find out what they did with their mama, what they did with their daddy, what they was doing behind the scenes before I even put them on a stage. You know, I'm just being honest, bro. I'm just one of those. Yeah. And again, I came out of the community of Dr. York, and I was in that community from 84 to 88. So I didn't get the other experience later on. He was disciplined under Muslim. I don't know what happened after that. And of course, I've had polite, all of that, working because elders told me to put him on, and he was on a spiritual journey. And again, I wish I had an investigating team. The ones that were investigated was probably charging too much, and they was under the Islamic paradigm, and I didn't want to go down there, but that was to investigate other things. But looking at the what we came from doing the promotions back in the day, to reputable, respectable elders that are, some of them that are still married to this day, son.
Yeah.
Still married to this day. Dr. Jeffries, all of them still married to this day.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
To now, what do you feel has changed from your point of view, and how can we heal it, or at least present another way to the young people that are coming up from your perspective, my brother? Please.
Again, like I came in 96, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And it was the love was there. I was coming into something, and I felt that I was coming in to be a part of something. And when I contacted these elders, they didn't push me away. You know what I mean? They was like, okay, hey, look, what you got? What can you work with? I'll get down there. You know, after COVID, and that's another thing, I mean, with events and stuff after COVID, you know what I mean? But dealing with the new scholars and the people of influence today, man, you call these people like, damn, how much I need 5,000 and that. I need, what I'm saying, I need a plane ticket, hotel, first class, what I mean, 6,000, 7,000. You be like, bruh, do you know, like, especially at this point, at this day and time, how hard it is to get people, bro? There was a time, and I know in New York, there was a time in Baltimore where we had a consistent number of people, no matter what. I mean, I used to do a mail out before the internet.
Me too.
Mail out 500 slips that we would mail out. And bro, I knew from that 500 people that we was gonna get at least 100 people. Exactly. At least. And we had years of running like that we knew we was gonna get at least 100 people coming out. Now with Facebook, all of the people that we reached through IG, this, that, and the other, man, you'd be glad if you get,
exactly.
It's hard. I mean, I've done events. I mean, we've done events where we had, like 700-800 people, at some of those events. And then we've had events where we've had 5 people. 5 people. Yep. You know what I mean? We've had 4, to keep it 100. You know what I mean, man? We had some events, one thing I knew, during them times, my mama was going to be there. My mom used to pull me to the side sometimes. She'd be looking because she'd be right there. And she'd say, hey, look, come here. I see what's going on. She give me a kiss on the cheek. Hey, look, I'm here, and you know what I mean. You need anything, just let me know. But just the rapport that I built was able to build with a lot of those lecturers back in the day, and it wasn't all good all the time. I've been cursed out by quite a few of them. I've
never been cursed out.
I didn't have some arguments. I didn't been fussed out. You know what I mean? But I could be around and I can laugh about that stuff, man. I've been cursed out by Baba Dick Gregory.
Yeah, he even cursed me.
Oh, goodness. You know what I mean? He laid me out. Brother Anthony Browder. Brother Anthony Browder laid me out, man.
Wow.
I mean, and honestly, just real quick to tell you that story, that's when they did, it was like the first or second part of Hidden Colors. In Baltimore, we put together. I'm gonna tell you who we had there. We had it was Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh
It
boy.
was Professor Griff actually that came through there that day. We had Dr. Newton was there. Brother James Small was there. And there was a couple other people that we had on that on the panel. We had an awesome panel that day. But what happened was we decided to go astray from where we normally do our events. There was a sister that had a building around the corner from my shop, and she was struggling. It was a nice theater, but she was like, well, look, I'm having problems with the heat and such and different things. And I was trying to make it decide. I was like, well, look, maybe let's try to do it there with her on that day. Man, I did that lecture there. It was so cold in that building. We couldn't get to
Damn.
It was so cold, man, and I couldn't warm the building up, man. I felt so bad. We had hot chocolate there, man, and it was like, and when I talked to Brother Browder said, listen, man, don't you ever do a lecture like that again. You know what I mean? And it was, but hey, that my elders, I listened to them. I explained my position of what happened and why I did it like that. But we call that the igloo lecture. Back in the days. Remember the igloo lecture?
Yeah, igloo lecture.
Yeah, the igloo lecture.
Cold as hell, sir.
It was so cold in there. But man, it was power packed though, man. We had them up in there, bro. And it was packed out. We had about 400 people up in that joint, and they was in there. They weren't fussing. They weren't fussing. I know they had some things to say, but we really did it out of sincerity. We were trying to do something to help the sister with her building during the time, and it just kind of something that it just it didn't work out. We still got the information, we still got the knowledge. People stayed, they stuck around, and we did the best we could. But yeah, man. But I've been told off by some of the best. But to this day, they still love me, man. You know what I mean? I love them. They love me. And we still got great relationships.
It's funny. I never got told off by any of the elders, but I heard Dick Gregory was something else. Matter of fact, when I brought Dick Gregory in and I brought Paul Mooney in the next year after, Dick Gregory actually told me a joke on the side instead of cussing me out, because he had a great time. We was at the old Malcolm X school, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad School in Brooklyn that they started years ago when Malcolm X was a teacher, and he was telling me he had a diaper on. He said, "Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom, fix my diaper, man." He was telling me jokes. Dick Gregory is hilarious, and I had him. Queen of Four opened up for him.
Wow.
And Queen, you got to remember, Queen was one of his understudies. She learned from him in the beginning. Queen of Four. Wow. So that was she said that story. We videotaped and all that, and then we brought in Paul Mooney the next year, and those two, man, they can tell you stories for days. It's just that they have their own flair and style. But who you would expect to cuss you out, they didn't cuss me out. So
right.
Paul will cuss you out. Paul Mooney will cuss you out. So I know how he get that. So I treated them like with kid gloves, and really brought them in and did what I had to do. But again, we know these elders, and we've gone through generations of consciousness. I mean, I was in the 5% from when I was 14. So I've been through generations of consciousness at 58 years of age today. I'm still going through generation and watching the ups and downs of it. What is something, as far as today's consciousness of the conscious community, what is something that these younger people can learn from what these elders had to offer back in there? Because a lot of them are disrespecting the elders right now. I remember they cussed out Ashwa Kwesi. They saying all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah, I know.
How can we make that connection somehow to these young people, man?
Just sincerity, man. You know what I mean? To be sincere and respect where you come from, because a lot of these people that's out here preaching this knowledge, they spitting out stuff that they got from Dr. Ben. They spitting out stuff that they learned from Dr. John Herbert Clark and Brother Browder and a lot of these different people. But a lot of these people not getting props for the stuff that they put out, or they not saying where they got a lot of the information from.
That's true.
The problem, and people gonna laugh that even when we talk about the lecturers of today.
Yes.
We just, I
let it out, brother. Let it out, Gerard.
Honestly, because I'm not even with Brother Bobby Hemmett, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those people, he used to talk about cloning, and then you got a lot of people talked about COINTELPRO and all those different things. I think we really have to revisit a lot of what a lot of the scholars talked about with COINTELPRO, and they talked about, with a lot of these different things, because it's no way possible that some of these people that's out here speaking for our community right now can be sane, can even be real. And there's a brother, like I said, I'm not, and you know, I ain't
No,
a
I
person
know.
that's trying to name names, a whole bunch
I
of, you
know.
know what I
I
mean,
know.
stuff, you know what I mean, on your platform or whatever, you know what I mean. But
I know. I know.
you know, and one in particular that I'm sure everybody knows right now, who's just
Yeah.
constantly caught up in everything, you know what I mean, and talk about respecting black women and this, that, and the other, ain't got a woman, you know what I'm saying, they ain't never been married, ain't, you know what I mean, and all this stuff, and been building for a long time. And I was one of the people that brought that brother from the beginning. You know, I would bring that brother to town when we only had like 40, 50 people.
That's
You
right.
know, it was saying, if you listen to brother Red Pill, that, you know what I mean, you know, he came and heard the brother speak, took a
That's right.
take back to brother Sarnetta, is how they learned about him. You know what I'm saying? From here and from Baltimore.
That's right.
And so, like, when you see, when I look at this brother, I'm like, man, he can't be this ain't the same person I know. You know what I mean? So if Bobby Hemmett was right about some of these people, that some of these people have been cloned or something like that. If I ever had to say that, you know, like I said, now I'm not a person to run around and say, oh, he cloned, he this, he that. But if I ever had to say that a person was cloned,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? This brother that we talking about right now, like I said, I'm very respectful not to say it, you know, but you know what I mean, that I would say that, man, some of these brothers and sisters may be cloned or something. And if they ain't cloned, you know what I'm saying, they've been compromised by the authorities, by the powers that be, because the stuff that they are doing, and when you look at the where they are so-called leading our people to, is so disrespectful. It's so, you know, and so it's I mean, man, you know, we talk about this stuff at the shop, man. I'd be disgusted. I listen to these people talk, I said, man, that's not the person I knew. That's not the person
exactly.
You know,
let me tell you, because when they got him from Baltimore through Red Pill and got them to Sonetta, I was there, and he was the most humblest. I call him Jermaine. I ain't never gonna call him by that Muslim name, because that's the most powerful Muslim. That name is that warrior under that name back in under the Prophet Muhammad's time was powerful. Right. I don't know this person. Right. But back in those days, he was the most humble and respectful. And I remember when this man actually got a little bit more weight, sweating on this at this church, and I went to him and said, "Yo, let me give you Dr. Africa's number so he can help you with your health." Right, the same man that we talking about, Jermaine. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He know who he is. That's what his father called him, Jermaine. And that person, you know, and that person was so humbled, and he took the number. I gave him a DVD to help him out with his health back in the day. And then later on in life, when he started getting in all this controversy after SETI and all that, calling goons, and there was no goons on the phone, all kind of craziness. Right. I come to Atlanta and to go buy his $50 book. The man shake my hand. What up, King Simon? Boom, boom, boom. He gets on the microphone and say, "Hey, people, this is one of my New York haters, King Simon." I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. I said, I'm not your hater. I've never hated on you. Matter of fact, all I've done is bought your books and showed you love. I may not have donated to that school yet because I didn't know what that was about to happen. Right. But I loved his information. I bought his books and all that, but I was not sure about that school. So you know, Jermaine, he did diss me in front of my son, who was just enamored with Dr. Jermaine. Right. You know, and that really, I just threw all of his stuff away and gave my son his book, because the books were still good information as far as dealing with children and all that. Right. Still good information. Right. But I just said, you know what? My man Griff said, "Yo, just get rid of his stuff." And I said, you know what? Because I was about to blast him, and I said, you know what? I don't do this on air. Yeah. I don't do this. And I'm still not doing it. I'm just showing people that I'm a person of principle. And if you're going to shake my hands after I buy your $50 book and then get on a microphone and say, "Look at one of my New York haters." Suppose you had one of them zealots out there that try to step to me while you're saying that. And I have to get into my FOI bag, you know what I'm saying, and do what I used to do. You know what I'm saying? Khalid taught me well. Saints, saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers. Period. That's what we're taught. Right. So I'm telling you, family. So again, the consciousness in this conscious community, with people like him and others that have gone and just became new people and new clones. They because they are, you know, the cells are cloning. And so they might have created a whole new person after all these years. Because if you notice the difference and I notice the difference, then there is a difference. Come on, bro. There is a difference, brother. You know, look, brother King, they better be lucky that brother Khalid Muhammad is not here. Oh my God! They better be lucky that brother Khalid Muhammad is not here, because he would be
you know what I mean, out of love, because you know one thing, if you listen to a lot of the scholars back in the day,
exactly.
when I'm talking about unity, they always big each other up. You know,
Exactly.
you would hear Khaled call everybody up, brother Ashwa crazy, brother
Exactly.
King something, you know what I mean? And you know, and they would always big up people, you know,
Exactly.
you would hear different ones, you know, quote this one, quote that one, and it was like a lot of love. Now, you know what I mean, you don't hear a lot of people quoting each other, you know what I mean, saying, yeah, I got that from this one, or I got that one from that one, because they all want to kind of be exclusive with a lot of the stuff. I'm telling you, I at this particular point, so far as with lectures,
Yes.
we did a lecture with Brother Nori Muhammad last year. I think it
Yeah,
was
I remember
last
that. I
year.
remember that. I
Yeah, I
remember
did a
that.
lecture with Brother Nori, and we didn't have a good turnout for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was something that was going to be, you know, a piece of cake. It was going to be in the bag. And after I did that, and again, I had done a couple more before, I'm like, man, we got to go back to the drawing board. Like, so far as bringing people out to these events, because this ain't the same, man. I used to do, you know, I mean, like I said, I've done events, believe me, that, you know what I mean, where we ain't had many people at all, you know what I'm saying? And we had periods of time where, you know, it was hard to get people. Then depending on what's going on in the world, then everybody want to come. You know, if it's like, you know, something, you know what I mean? When Barack Obama got in office, oh man, our numbers went down so low, man. People was like, look, we don't need them lectures no more, man. We got a black president. What are y'all talking about? Stop bringing them lectures. You know what I mean? Chill out, man. Our numbers dropped. We was telling people like, man, since Barack came in office, you know.
Yo, our numbers went up because we was talking about Barack.
Oh, okay, got you.
We had my brother. I had my brother. I said the Duke of Tears dropping it on Barack. I had Phil Valentine dropping it about Barack, and when he mentioned that he could be Malcolm X's son, that joke was the funniest. And
so, you know,
and that was just by him Googling what was out there. That's what he's seen. He said it.
You know that and I was telling the brother earlier today, he premiered that theory here in Baltimore.
Really?
Yeah. He premiered that here in Baltimore. It was exclusive here in Baltimore when he actually premiered that, you know. And I can remember, like, even us going, he was like, you know, he told me, brother, I'm gonna premiere something today. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be, you know what I mean? That's gonna be very controversial in general. And as a matter of fact, that was the first time that we had ever done. See, at first we started off doing a lot of the streaming stuff. Like early on, and we did like one of the first paid ones that we did with Dr. Phil Valentine. We did that from Baltimore. We started streaming like a lot of the different lectures that we were doing, but back during that time in those early days, it was so hard to get a stream up. So my streaming team, because it wasn't easy to go up like that. So we had to get, I mean, man, they would work for hours to get the stream up, to get the sound up and all. And after a while, we was like, look, this is too much, man. And we just kind of dropped off.
Yeah, I tried it with Hakeem Bey because Hakeem Bey had a service. So I did it with Hakeem Bey back in the day. So I remember that. And we dropped off and left it alone for a while because it just took so much to set up.
I came back and started seeing these internet shows up, and even talked to this brother, saw that. He said, brother, you got to get in on this internet thing. Like, I came back in as the person that was like the plug, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get plugged in. Like, so what's going on? So everybody got these internet shows and, you know, different thing. And I'm now, you know, and now I'm trying to catch up even so far as the internet is concerned, you know, like, man, this is a whole nother thing. And I see like Brother Rich and, you know what I mean, with a lot of brothers.
Rich was studying under Sarnetta and everybody, and then just blew up, yo.
I see.
From Underground Network. Remember, he was on Blog Talk first.
Yeah. He
was on Blog Talk. But, you know, again, man, family that's just tuning in, please support our brother Jabari, man, and whatever he's doing. Go on his YouTube. Are you still broadcasting on your YouTube channel still?
Yeah. Me and Brother Sunyata.
Oh, yes.
We have a show that we do called Bonded by the Blade, and we you know, I mean, that's like us as barbers, you know, talking about, you know, I mean, different topics, you know, in the community and all, you know, talking about our different projects that we got going on. You know, we go out to the streets, we cut hair, you know what I mean, and our whole thing. We have a ministry, man. It's nothing more than, you know, giving somebody that fresh cut. You may be going through a lot. You know, person may be homeless, maybe trying to figure out where they're gonna get their next meal from, but feeling bad because, you know what I mean, they ain't had that haircut 2 or 3 months. We come and give them that haircut, and they like, man, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, man. I love what you're doing. And it does good because my barbers that we take out in the streets are barbers in training most of the time. So then, you know, they get to see like, man, actually I'm training for my barbering, but I'm helping out. And I'm making a difference.
My son is training for his barbering right now, but he's going He learned an esthetician. And he was supposed to do it years ago because I used to cut their hair when I was young, but he took it to the next level, gonna get his
That's
license.
what's up.
But he
That's
was
what's
supposed to
up.
do it. Yeah, Shia, that's my son Shia, man. I'm gonna be interviewing him because he's also good at finances back in the day, also
That's
at
what's
one
up.
time. But I expected you to have is something like Matt Hoffa, the barbershop look, and that's what I expected to see you in, because that's how I can see it.
I know.
I
We
see
trying to
you.
get there. We've experimented with some things, and
Yeah.
try a little bit here, and then
Yeah.
then we kind of fell back. Try a little bit there, then we fell back. But we trying to be a little more consistent with putting up some of the classics, because I got an archive. We got
Right.
crazy archive. Now we got some people that took my stuff through the years, and man, they got hundreds of thousands of hits off of my stuff. Sometimes I'm looking like, man, that's my lecture. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they got like hundreds of thousands of hits on that joint. You know what I mean? Some of them even millions. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't you host the Mukasa Africa and Wesley back in the day? Did you host that debate or that conversation that they had? Was it Mukasa Africa and somebody?
Yeah, it was Mukasa and it was about the movie. It was about the movie. The Harriet Tubman movie.
Nah, who hosted the one against Ma'at and Islam? Did you host that? You didn't.
No,
host
I
that?
didn't. Yeah, it was
I thought that was yours.
Maya and Islam. But I've hosted many different debates. You know what I mean? Some of the early ones.
Yeah, I remember.
We did Dr. Africa. We did the Dr. Africa and Scott Whitaker back in the day.
Right. That was it. That was the one. Yeah, that one too.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, I seen that. I think Dr. Africa showed me the DVD because he had the DVD at his house, because I used to go by his house all the time. So he had the whole thing. And the debate scene. Let's get into that, because you was hosting debate and Sanetta just took it to a whole nother level. He had Smack on the debate. He had Smack hosting it. I mean, we had Smack up in the building with a polite and Dr. Ali Muhammad and the rabbi. I mean, we turned it into a whole fiasco.
That went somewhere else different. Like I said, we was trying to do the things, and when we did the Dr. Africa and Brother Scott Whitaker, it was like, because a lot of people was trying to figure out whether it's gonna be vegan. Some people was talking about meeting it, so it was sincere. It was like, man, look, let's do this debate. You know what I mean? Where where people can listen to both of them talk, and they can kind of help people make up their mind and what it is that they're doing. And we did the debate with Brother Glenn Ford,
I remember
Brother Keedy. Brother Tony Browder and brother Dr. Leonard Jeffries during the time. And that was around the Barack Obama time. You know what I mean? Is Barack Obama good for black people was the question. So we had like a big panel there. We hosted it was Malik Zulu Shabazz. And here in Baltimore, we got Brother Durham Muhammad. It was the Obama conception during that time, and they had it. But we never had hostile debates where people got to the point where they was disrespecting each other, or they said stuff about somebody. It was like they presented their information, but we never got to the point of
and big up to Dr. Ma'at, because she was there in New York and tore somebody down back in the day, to the point they didn't even want to debate Dr. Ma'at. Oh yeah, the black woman God. Then that's when the black woman became God.
Oh yeah.
Shut all that down.
Yeah.
And I started laughing. I said, "Ooh, Dr. Ma." That's when I bought her first Meltrex. Big up to her and Meltrex. I love her Meltrex series already.
Yeah, serious work.
I had the DVD from her, man. I got that DVD. I gave it to my children, but I know it's on digital now. But yeah, man, the debates was something else, and I think people took what Dr. Khalid was doing to a whole nother level. Because Khalid wanted to debate only white folks until Chuck pulled him out. Chuck, that black guy pulled him out.
Yeah, Chuck, the preacher.
Yeah, the preacher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then people started, and then what white folks started doing, because I remember Tim Wise spoke badly about Dr. Francis Cress Wells, and so I tried to get him. I was dealing with a sister at that time, and I had her email him, write a nice letter to try to get him to debate either Phil Valentine in defense of Francis Cress Wells or Dr. Africa, because we ain't want our sister to do that.
Right.
We the brothers was ready. Dr. Africa said, "Yo, just set up a Caucasus Mountain on his side, and y'all set up Kemet for me on my side." That's how Dr. Africa said. That's how we gonna do it.
Right.
And I started laughing, and he declined on the debate. Tim Wise, everybody. Tim Wise was very wise to decline on that debate, because Dr. Africa or Phil Valentine could have handled it, especially in defense of Francis Cress Wells.
Right.
And I was glad that they was ready to step up. I was so happy they was willing to step up, man. And, Now, what do you think about over the years, man? A lot of sisters was in the background. And now we big up to Patrice, Dr. Patrice Newton, and all the sisters that did stand up. You know, like Dr. Ma'at, but Dr. Melanie, or sometimes Queen of Four. Of course, we got to big up Sister Queen of Four for standing up and keeping on speaking. How can we get the sisters out again? Because what I used to do is make sure I have the couples speak, like Ashwa Kwesi and Mirawa Kwesi, of course, Phil Valentine and Dr. Nalani. When Phil and Queen of Four was together, I was working with them. So
Right, right.
in the 80s. So how can we get these sisters? Because they like to stay online, but they haven't come out the way I would love to see our sisters come out again. How would you try to filter the sisters? Because sisters got something to say.
They got something to say, and some of the most powerful lectures were given by some of the sisters. I tell a story about how Dr. Frances Cress Welsing saved my business. We did a lecture with Dr. Welsing, and we raised like $12,000. To get us out of the hole that we were in. For my building at the time. So Dr. Welsing, but I'll be honest, like only maybe like 15% of our lecture series has been with the sisters. We've had Queen of Four, and I told Dr. Mayat, when we would do lectures with Dr. Patricia Newton, I said, look, you next in line, you know what I'm saying? You gotta hold it down, you know what I mean? So, I would bring Dr. Mayat out during those times, and she would open up for a lot of the, different lecturers we had, because I know that we need to have more sisters speaking out, during that time and speaking up. So, man, I guess we just gotta let we gotta let a lot of the sisters know that we got their back, that we right here. I mean, I'm gonna tell you too, man, one of the most powerful sisters, and and I know she still speak, during that time, coming up was Sister Soldier. Sister Soldier was really strong, but she stepped away after, I think she felt like she didn't get supported after all the stuff happened with the Bill Clinton thing and all those different, so I mean, she still kept speaking like college campuses, but she stepped out of a lot of different circles during that time, but
I remember doing security for Sister Soldier when I was with Dr. Khaled. And then when I went back to the music business, I was at Tramps nightclub, and Erykah Badu was performing. And because I used to work with Tramps and all that, they get me backstage. I've seen Sisters. I said, "What's up, Lisa?" And she gave me a hug and introduced me to, guess who? Lauryn Hill. Brother, I got Lauryn Hill's number before she blew up.
Oh man! Oh, okay.
And that's when she was living with her moms in Jersey, and I was calling to try to set her up at SOBs, because I was working at Sounds of Brazil. They call it SOBs in New York. I was working at Sounds of Brazil for many years back in the 90s, and I was trying to set up something with her before she even released the new song and the new album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Before I met her, and I remember she telling me she wanted 13 children then. Back in
wow. Oh,
I said, 13?
Okay. You probably was like 13, huh?
13, huh? Exactly.
Like forever. Okay.
I never tried to talk to her like that, but we did have conversation on the phone a few times before she blew up, and then that was it. The mother's number changed and all that kind of stuff. So I understood that after that, but they do remember me when they see me, because I smile and they'll see me. But back to the sisters. I just recently told Queen of Four, Sacred Woman is beautiful and all that, but she has to start training them in martial arts also. The importance of letting them understand how to use their eyeliner to cut somebody up, or how to use their headscarf and how to tie somebody down, like we was taught back in the day with Dr. Moses Powell, when we was taught under GM Anthony or Master Ronald Duncan. We was taught how to use improvised weaponry. Using the scarf to tie a dude down if they attack and throw them. So I'm recommending certain things for her, because she used to train martial arts with Dr. Moses Powell, Queen of Four. Wow, so people don't even know that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She used to roll out and do all that, because when she see me roll, she said, "Oh, I know you've been training with that." I said, "Yeah, I trained with the Dr. Powell's system, Sanukas." So it's so important that we stress that even if brothers ain't around, they know how to still protect themselves.
No doubt. Let me go back a little bit. We were talking about Sister Soldier and Khaled. Man, I almost pulled off history. I almost had Sister Soldier and Dr. Khaled on the same ticket. You know what I mean? Like, man, I tried my best to make this happen.
I thought you got it, because we got it. We had got it at Friendship Baptist Church.
Y'all did them together?
Yeah, Khaled, Sister Soldier, and Steve Muhammad, and Ras Baraka before he blew up.
Oh, I know that. I know that. I ain't know that. But I ain't know nobody pulled that off. All
Yeah,
right.
they
Okay.
did pull it
Okay.
up, but it
Okay.
was a meeting, a political meeting, and we was all there at this place called Friendship Baptist Church, and
Is
she
that?
was there, Khalid was there, Steve Muhammad was there, and Ross Baraka came through. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Ras Baraka used to rip it down back in them days,
exactly.
man. Yeah. 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 Definite.
So,
Definite.
yeah,
Definite.
but it was the church that pulled it off because it was a meeting about what was going on in the city council and all that. Sister Soldier came, everybody came, and they decided to walk up and just that we didn't put it together like a formal thing. It
Okay.
just
Okay.
happened
It just happened.
naturally
It's,
because
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was doing
Gotcha.
security.
Gotcha.
I was in the aisle securing, so I wasn't a part of that at all. It was just that it just happened. So happened. That's what happened,
I know that had
and
to be
that was a
powerful. Powerful. I know that had to
oh
be very
man, that
powerful.
was powerful, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
big up to Dr. Oya, my aunt. We need to train. Yes, y'all do. I believe that, train with Dr. Maat. That's right, man. We got to, because Dr. Maat is serious out there. And I don't, I remember putting my daughters into martial arts too, so they can get the feel of it. I didn't want them to be a black belt. If they don't want to be a black belt, but know the basics at
Yeah.
least
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to do what you got to do, scream and get the hell away,
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I think consciousness is really falling to the wayside in that factor because a lot of women don't trust men. A lot of women are going through the battery of some brothers are consciously battering or pissing on women and doing all kind of stuff. I couldn't fathom this back in the nation when I was in the nation.
Right.
We used to let me tell y'all something, man. Back in the consciousness, back in the 90s, 80s, late 80s, 90s. Let me tell y'all something. I remember we in the nation heard about a brother pissing on a sister, and I'm not even gonna say what happened, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you that brother never pissed on somebody again like that.
Right. Right.
Put it like that. And even back in the day, if you mess with one of our sisters on the street, brothers will come out, surround you, put two brothers in there to beat your ass down and have you apologize and keep it moving. Under Dr. Khalid and Minister Farrakhan together back in those days. That's when I was in there.
Yeah.
So a lot have changed. And like you said, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad would not have tolerated this bull crap that's going on.
No. Because like you said, when you was in the nation, and that's why a lot of the behavior that's going on right now, when you got a brother coming on social media talking about somebody did this and gummy bear this and this, that, and she did that, man, do you know what kind of trouble, like if you were in the Nation of Islam, you stepped on the scene, imagine Brother Malcolm coming out talking about, yeah, last night I did something. I mean, it's immature, it's unprofessional. Then you talking about how somebody's smelling and this, that. I mean, bro, that's stuff we did when we was in high school, middle school,
man.
bro. You don't want to say stuff, but then at some point it's like, all right, we got to talk about this because
you have to talk.
This is happening, and it shouldn't be happening, man. What I mean, we gotta really talk about this stuff, and then what we're gonna do, pushing forward, how people are disrespecting, and saying out name with words, Hotep and this, that, and the other, and talking about Marcus Garvey and all this stuff, and then in another breath, people out there talking about, you did this and you did that, and she did this to me, and she smelled like the ocean. And come on, bro.
Let me tell you something. Once he called himself an 800-pound gorilla that used to love white women, that was it for me. Because I used to watch the old King Kong movies.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right.
He loved that white woman. He loved that white woman to death that he died for it.
Right.
So once he called, that was it for me. And even Phil Valentine called him out. And even Dr. Jeffries called him out.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't doing this King Kong. I'm the King Kong of consciousness and all.
Oh, nobody ever did that.
Doing that. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah. He did that at something they used to do here in the DMV. These power talks here that they were having. And I mean, you had everybody there. You had Dr. Claude Anderson. You had Brother Tony Browder. I think you had Brother James Small. Man, it was like these power. You had like 10 power. Brother Ashra Kwesi was there. Dr. Newton. I mean, they were loaded. I mean, these things were powerful. Power talk. It'd be a weekend, and he was on the last one he did. Man, he acted like such a prissy brat at the joint. I mean, man, it was crazy. And then he was again, I'm the most requested speaker. I'm the most. You in here with legends, bro. Like legends, people that made us, and they were disgusted. They were disgusted at a lot of the behavior that this brother had.
As they should be, man. And again, it just takes the right time. I'm not gonna put it out there, but it just takes the right timing, bro. Somebody's gonna do what they got to do.
Yeah.
And I'm because I've seen it happen. We've seen people go to jail. There's people in there jail for 135 years, 135 years, 7 years, whatever it is. I remember when you know, and I said to myself, man, this is crazy. And that's why I said earlier, I wish I would have became an investigator, at least a conscious investigator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about joining the police and all that. I'm talking about being a conscious investigator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what, and I know it's not too late, but I'm getting too old. Old people, older brothers are for counsel right now, and sisters are for counsel. Young people are for war. You know what I'm saying? But I still train. I still train every day to make sure I'm all right. I'm going to run. I'm going to run on my treadmill after I get off of here. So I'm not playing games with it because I want to be ready when I'm out there. And I think a lot of people in the quote unquote woke community, because it ain't conscious anymore, it's woke. It's woke now.
Right.
They woke. And big up to those that are really serious about this quote unquote woke or conscious. But like I said, I'd rather be a part of the conscious community than be a part of just a conscious community, because as we see, cockroaches can be conscious. We can see when you start to step on a cockroach, they know you right in there now. Exactly, they feeling you. They conscious. They conscious of something happened. Something about to happen. So every little thing that pick up energy or they conscious of something.
But I would like to give props, man, it's a lot of people that's doing work. There's a lot of people that's still doing work. I give it up to my queen, Monica and the crew. They got a homeschooling collective, Haru Ascending, and they doing their thing, man. They meeting, and they've been homeschooling for this their first year. Dr. Mayat, from what she's doing, she has her camps and brother Emotep and a lot of other brother Elijah that's here in Baltimore. In Baltimore, we had on our Bonded by the Blade last night. This brother raises millions of dollars for Black organizations, like he just did it on Friday night. He raised $1.2 million for 149 organizations in Baltimore, Black organizations in Baltimore. Wow. He's done that for the last 3 years, and he raised over $3 million, brother Jamie Wooten, for Collective Give here in Baltimore. And we had him on, like I said, we had him on our show last night. And man, so there is some awesome work that's going on still in the midst of all of this chaos, but like I said, it's a gift and a curse to have the social media out there, but we just gotta thread through and I don't know, put some respect on the people that's really producing and really doing some things, because like I said, my queen, they did the thing with the homeschooling. They ain't raised near the money that a lot of these other people have raised and not produced at all. That's embarrassing. No money, just collective. Hey, look, we're gonna pay this, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna make it happen. And that's how a lot of Black people come together and we do certain things. But but when you we looking at 10 years or so, and we still don't see not even a camp, not even what I'm saying, not even an after school program,
not even a dog pound, sir.
And like I said, it's not to be disrespectful. It's not to be, but to be respectful to those like yourself and the Dr. Mayas and the people that I named that's doing the work all over the world. Big up the work. It's disrespectful to us. That's all.
Even Q brother, I gotta big him up. Q brother doing this thing. He just got a bigger facility. Big up to King Randall, who I had up here. King Randall got jostled by.
I heard.
King Randall's a friend. I hit him up for his birthday all the time and he came on my show. I buy his t-shirts and support the brother. King Randall coming out of the Marines, taking what he learned from the Marines and flipping it into our community, because that's what the spook who sat by the door was all about. Being able to come out of these agencies and these alphabet agencies and these corporations and flip it. And teach our children, teach our babies. This man, I cry when he put up things. My uncle them used to fix cars. They never took me in front of a car to show me how to fix it. This man is showing 5 or 10 or more children how to fix cars, build houses, do plumbing, do all the trade, because they're looking for people with trade, not with AI skills. They're looking for trade.
Right.
Man, Brother Jabari, we could talk so much, but I'm not gonna keep you long. But if anybody, 'cause I know you got a family, but if anybody want to come up, if anybody want to call in and show some love or come up on the live, I will put the link up there. I only got 15 more minutes with this brother. I'm not gonna. You could answer a few questions. You would like to answer any questions, brother?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as y'all don't come up here disrespectful, put it like that.
Yeah.
Don't come up with the drama, because we already said what we had to say. The brother didn't even want to call names. I called the man's real government name, Jermaine. That's just me, because I see how he disrespected me in front of my son, and I didn't like that at all. So it is what it is.
And the only reason, like I said, the only reason that we saying something because the way he's living his life right now, you know what I mean? It's so disrespectful and incorrect at this particular time that we got to say something now. You know what I mean? You can't even not say anything when everybody asking you everywhere you go, like, man, what about this? What about this? You know what I mean? And so we got to now respond. So it's no disrespect. It's like, man, do your work. Do your work. Do what it is that you're supposed to do. Stop running around and messing with this one and that one all over the country. Yeah, let's do some work. Let's make some stuff happen.
Because a lot of people, they always say, "Oh man, King Simon don't want the smoke." I don't smoke.
Right.
I keep my lungs clean.
Right.
I will call you behind the scene. Everybody that know me, from Phil Valentine to Doggy Diamonds, know when they ask me about Polite taking money, and I call Polite, I say, "Yo, Polite, what's up with this money?" Behind the scene, I'm calling people to get people's money back, because that's what men do. That's what I was taught.
Yeah.
Men will call you, and I'm not going up on here talking. So Jermaine, don't get angry, Jermaine. just understand that we were brothers who loved and care about you first. When you first came out here, we loved and care about Jermaine Shoemaker.
Yeah.
Because we thought he was sincere. That's what we thought. The link is in the description if you want to come up. I see some people are coming up on the link. Let me see who's in the link. Make sure you can you show your face, whoever's coming on the link. All right. Let me see who's coming up on the link. What up? Hey, what's up? One of my advertisers in the building, 340 Nia. What's up, Nia? What's going on, sis?
Hi, how are you?
How you doing? What's the question you got?
So my question is, you just gave a name, Justin. Oh my gosh, it then went out my head. But he was someone that you was just talking about in regards to doing things and whatnot with the community and whatnot. So my question is, what would someone like myself be able to do for my community to kind of like help and grow and build in terms of what y'all do for the conscious community?
You want to
That's
answer
for me?
that? Yeah, that's for you, brother, and then I'll go on after you.
Oh, I mean, get with serious people that's doing serious things. I mean, things that you're interested in. It's a lot of people that's doing stuff. I mean, rather it's like, African Senate school, African Senate education, go old school, start the study groups, because out of the study groups, a lot of things come out of those study groups. Get with people that's really serious, that's really doing stuff. They got some years behind them. Like, do a credit check. Check that. You gotta check the credit. Like, you know what I mean. Like the white folks do. Check. Hey, look, what's your history? Like, what you know what I mean. And check their community status. How people feel about them in the community when you actually get with them. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying everybody loves Jabari, brother Jabari. Everybody don't love me. But one thing that most people will tell you, that I'm consistent, and I, and when it comes to doing this work, we're gonna do that work, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. I mean, it'd be 30 years. I've been 30 years Solvivaz Nation, 25 years Sunday of Conscious Heads Barbershop that we've been in business in general, giving hundreds of people jobs in our community, and just trying to be real and trying to be serious about what it is. And believe me, I've almost went out of business so many times, and like even right now, we got some struggles going on, but we just keep fighting. We just keep fighting, and we do the best that we possibly can. We ain't perfect, but we try to be committed and we try to be sincere to our people.
There it is. There it is. And matter of fact, this sister here, she's one of my sponsors here, Brother Jabari, and she does
I'm talking about
340worldwide.com. She helps to provide services to help grow your business. So, hey, that's what you're doing is what you need to do it just on a larger level and keep on doing it. And that's your number there, Miss Williams. Thank you very much for showing love and coming in and showing love to our brother. And of course, enough respect to you, my sister, for coming in. Okay.
And what you're doing so far as being a sponsor, that's, you know, hey, that's the work right there. You know what I mean? That's working. It's a win-win situation. You know what I mean? Helping the brother and he's helping you. It's a win-win situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So real quick, if anyone would like to mentor some people, let me know.
She does that too. Yes, she can help that. But anybody
what's
wants
up.
to mentor some people, yeah, not just here, but it was also in the Virgin Islands. She's from the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. So it's a good place to do retreats and all that kind of stuff, and all that. Puerto Rico's right next to there. If you want to go and do a retreat in those type of areas, she can help you out also. All right. But I will talk later. Thank you very much, Naya.
Thank you.
Thank
One
you.
love,
Have a beautiful
one
one. Peace.
All right, peace. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, man, people support, man, and that's what I'm talking about, you know. And I'm glad that she's able to show love. And you know, I have a few sponsors, people off grid. A few people. Lloyd, Lloyd is also some of my sponsors. Sometimes a lot of people, man, and showing each other love and building. You know, Lloyd used to say, man, when years ago, I've known Lloyd Strayhorn since 1988, 1989, right? We go back. I came out of the Ansar community, and he read me on radio like a book. But I was already into numbers from the 5% Nation and the mathematics and the Nation of Islam and all that. I was in the numbers, but he was the catalyst for me to go into numbers and understand the study of numerology, the study of numbers from all levels. Because I don't just deal with it from that level. I study patterns, cycle sequences, statistics, probabilities, and also possibilities with numbers, which people might call divination, but that's divine nation to me. And you know, back in the day, he used to say, his father always used to say, give a man and a woman they do. If you know you got that knowledge from them, say you got that knowledge. That's why in all my books, I got a bibliography or recommended reading in back of my book. Give them the knowledge. Let them know that you got it from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's right.
That's right.
I'm proud of what you're doing, brother. I'm not gonna keep you long. I'm proud of what Dr. Oya, my Dr. Amada, I got to get you on the show again about your STEM program. I'm gonna have Q Butter on probably at the end of the month because I love what he's doing, no matter how he could act. And sometimes act a little funny and crazy with me, but I show him love. I show people love still because I still admire when you're dealing with education or STEM or computer technology or trade. I love to see that amongst. And you, brother, man. This has been a long time coming, but you will be back on again, and we gotta have some fun again, man. And I know I'm supposed to be coming to Everlasting Life over there too. I'm supposed to be doing something over there. You know, Brother's Restaurant, Everlasting.
Oh yeah, my man, Brother Baruch. Dr. Baruch. Yeah,
I gotta bring him on too, my brother. I had him on years ago, but I gotta bring him on. But I definitely really admire what Dr. Oya Ma'at is doing. She's my sister. I call her or text every now and then. You know, she'll call me or text me every now and then. And you, brother, thank you what you and your Empress is doing and what you are doing with your barbershop and all of that and all the works that you've done, brother. I applaud you. Let me put the applause button on, bro, because you have shown us what it means to be a man in Baltimore, but also throughout the East Coast and throughout the world. You know, let's give you a round of applause.
Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you, man. And family, please support our brother and email him or show him some Cash App love. Spread love, spread love. You know what I'm saying? All right. Any last words for the people, brother Jabari? Man, I just want to say that, you know, it'll be 30 years again, the Solvivaz Nation. That's something that I'm real proud of because I know that, you know, it's been so many ups and downs, and you know, and just want to inspire other people, man. I know although sometimes it looks a little dark and glim out there, it's people that's out there doing the work. I'm still inspired. You know, I just turned 50 years old this year. You know, in May, just turned 50, and so you know, I mean, a lot of numbers. 50 years old, my 25 year for Reality Speaks, and 30 years for Solvivaz Nation. I'm, you know, well for Conscious Heads, and 30 years for Solvivaz Nation. So we got a lot going on, a lot of milestones right now in my life. 40s was kind of tough, man. I lost my, my foundation, my mom, dad, my sister, but I know that spirit lives on, and my mom wouldn't want me wallowing around and laying around and doing stuff. She gonna say, hey, look, you got to get up and fight. You got to get up and keep it going and keep the movement rolling. And just want to inspire people, man. Just keep going no matter what. Sometimes it looks dark, but just keep punching. We're gonna build this lecture scene back up again. We may have to do it in different ways and different strategies to doing it. But man, just keep fighting, and the spirit is strong, definitely strong. That's what we say here.
Talk to me, man. We could do some cross promotion. I got no problem.
Doubt.
Let's do it all levels, man. And I can connect you with Brother Rich. Let's do it on all levels, because Rich is my man. I've known Rich before he even got into from 19, since he was 19, now 40 something years old now. So somebody asked, what's the name of your barbershop? It's Conscious Heads, right?
Conscious Heads Barbershop.
Yeah. So it's right here, Barber and Boot Camp and Healing Cuts Ministry. We got it right there. So make sure y'all show him love. If you and Be More, man, show him love. Again, family, this brother here is one of a kind, bro. And that's not easy to keep up, because me and you started professionally promotion in 1995, the same year. I'm 30 years this year too.
Right. Okay. All right. You're all right. That's what I'm talking about.
Although I was doing it since I was 12.
Yeah.
I was born in a nightclub. My father opened a nightclub the year I was born. So I was always around that type of music and entertainment and all that. But Grace Jones is my father's cousin on my side. So, that's a family member on that side. And so, so I was around entertainment all my life. So, they became an entertainer and became a reggae artist. Actually number 5 on the reggae chart back in the day. So, but I was singing conscious music, because I was working and doing, amongst all of that slack stuff and that sex stuff, I came out with Black and White Story and talking about our history in reggae. With Bob, and Bob Marley was doing 8 to Bed, but Bob had passed already. So much, brother. And I'm so proud again, man. And thank you very much, man. And enjoy the family, man. Give your queen a big hug for me, man. And thank her very much for being that rock next to you and you being a rock next to her, man. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Supreme salute.
Supreme salute, man. Appreciate you. All right, that's our brother, man. That's our big brother, my little brother, because I'm 58 years of age, but that's my little brother. And and I'm proud of, like I said, I'm proud of the brother and his journey. Again, let me give him a well-deserved round of applause. Man, this ain't no joke. Man. This is what we do. And this is what I've been doing for a long time. I'm telling you, man, I've been into this promotional thing. And like I said, I wish I would have been an investigator. One of my investigators passed on. His name was martial arts master in ninjutsu. His name was Soke Abdul Ali Kareem, or Ali Abdul Kareem. He passed on. I had another investigator, but I stopped talking to him because of certain situations. But big up to him. Big up to Dr. Shaka Zulu. He was one of my investigators. But, I wish I would have became, because I would know what to do and what to look for, because I know they give you that type of training. And in this new paradigm, I think we're going to need to hire investigators in some form of fashion to find out what's happening in people's lives, so we don't get caught out there again by anybody else. It's happening, and it's going to happen every now and then. But we gotta make sure we don't let things slip through the thing because somebody was recommended by somebody, or elder because I let certain people on because elders recommended them, and because I respect my elders, I say, you know what, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Sabi recommended, people like Reverend Moon, Oba, Imam Isa, Dr. York's brother recommended certain people. And I said, you know what? I'll do that. I'll show them some love. And I don't know what happened 10, 15 years later. It's a whole craziness. So it is what it is, family. Family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Remember what Dr. B. Sirius says. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And remember what Dr. Blair used to say. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet in which we live on now. Please protect our mind, our bodies, and our soul. And as he would say, so we could receive our truth and in this love right now. Dr. Blair, Dr. B, thank y'all very much. To all of the elders that have passed on, Dr. B is still with us, but to all of the elders that gave us some real good information to build on and not destroy. Let's help build. Let's add on. Let's. If you know somebody might have made a mistake back in the day, give them some blah, because the elders back in the day went through a whole lot of hell. They went through a whole lot of hell. I remember Dr. Runoko Rashidi telling us that he had to sneak a camera in or they would have had him arrested. Shekanta Diop almost lost his life getting to those cadavers. Ivan Van Sertima almost got the flu. One of them damn bugs almost bit him in the forests of South America to go and get this information for us. Man, y'all don't know the dedication. Although people are thanking me for dedication, the dedication they had. I'm standing on their shoulders, the dedication they had. Some of these guys could only go online and they've never been in a forest in South America. They've never been next to a cadaver to be able to do the testing to find out if it was black or melanated or if it had high content of men. Some of them never been in a laboratory like that, never even did a blood analysis. Man, this is real. So big up to all the late, great elders that passed on and did the work. Big up to them. All right? Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be strong, be focused, and remember, I love you because I love me. I want to thank Brother Jabari once again for coming on. Peace out. Later. Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You can also get my books on Amazon at Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator.
you.